Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go through my top 5 MVP Axiom discs. Let's get to it. Alright, hey guys, we're going to get into my top 5 MVP Axiom discs today. And I wanted to start with some honorable mentions, alright? The first one is the Streamline Pilot. Now, the Streamline is the non-overmold side of the company's MVP, and they make some really great stuff. If you haven't tried them out, I recommend you try it. But the Pilot is one of the first putters that I got, and I fell in love with it. It's 2, 5, -1, 1, and it just really shows. It glides right to the basket. The Electron is -1. The regular, if it's premium plastic, it's kind of a 0 turns 1. You can kind of see that in the tube, but I really like putting with the Pilot. When I first started, it was great. It was just what I needed, but eventually it got to a point to where it just got so beat in. The glide was really too much to handle for me. If I would miss, it would just sail way past the basket, and I would struggle with my comebackers because, you know, when you first start playing, you're not very good at putting. So practice your putting. But Streamline Pilot, it's a great disc. The Fission Wave, its numbers are 11, 5, -2, 2 on the fade. The Fission plastic is a little different, so the turn is -2.5 compared to the regular -2. And I think you can really see that out of the box. But the Wave is one of those that I would recommend for like a beginner distance driver. If you need something to go, you can just rip it, and it just goes forever. I use it for rollers. I use it for big turnovers. Sometimes I use it for weird forehand shots. It's a great utility disc for me. This Fission one is, but I still like the Wave. It's a great disc. And the next one, I really debated putting this in my top 5, but this is the Glitch. It's one of the newer molds, and everyone's done a review of the Glitch, but this one, I'm just gonna say that the Glitch is just a fun thrower, whether you like it or you don't. I like to throw it in the woods for some turnover shots, or just some approach shots that are like 100, 150, maybe up to 200. But that's what I would throw it for. It's fun to play catch with. My son really likes it. But yeah, the Glitch, it's a great disc. Alright, let's get into the top 5. Number 5 is the Nomad. This is a disc in the James Conrad line. This is his putter. The Nomad was one of those discs that I really just gravitated to right when it first came out. I was putting with the Judge, and I saw the specs, and the Nomad is very similar to a Judge. I would say that the bead's a little bit smaller than a Judge is, but it's got the same amount of glide, and it just sticks in the chains. It wants to go straight to the basket. It's a fun disc. I like how the bead sits right in my finger, on the knuckle of my finger. It's got good grip. It's kind of a thinner putter. It's not very deep, and I really like that. But the Nomad is one that I've also kind of tossed around, throwing around a little bit, like off the tee. It's pretty dead straight with a tick of fade. I'm kind of messing with one a little bit to kind of figure it out. I don't know if it's going to take the place of my main throwing putter, but we'll see. It's fun to throw in the woods. You can get some really cool flex lines out of it. One thing that I have noticed about throwing the Nomad is you throw it on hyzer, it just wants to stick on hyzer, and it just goes forever. It's got a lot of glide, and it really pops out. I would almost say it's higher than a 4 if you're throwing it. It's just one of those that's just a fun disc to throw. This one specifically is in the Electron plastic. I was putting with the Electron Soft for a while, but I think I'm going to try this one out. It's a little bit firmer, and it may kind of slide on my hand a little bit more. Sometimes I felt like the Electron Soft was a little too grippy at some points, but also I felt like it got really dusty. If it got dusty, it got really slick. So I'm going to try something new. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, that's the Nomad, number 5. All right, number 4 is a fairway. It's the Volt. The Volt is one of those. It's kind of in the last year or so I gravitated to it. It's one of those that I thought I wasn't really gonna like, really, but I started to really kind of use it for many different things than just a backhand throw. Started throwing on some forehands. I got one that's kind of beat up. We'll try some on some turnover lines, so we're going to see. Its numbers are 5, 8, 5, -1, 2. If you're throwing a kind of a more premium one, this is the Fission. So Fission's always going to have like a half take turn, lower. If it's minus, like the Wave, if it's a -2, it's Fission's going to be -2.5. So the Volt, you typically at -0.5, but Fission it's -1. I think it kind of shows a little bit. I have a newer one in the bag, and it's pretty stable, so it'll be interesting to see how it compares to a couple other ones. But we like the Volt on forehands. It's one of those that kind of fits really nice. It's not super deep. It's not super domey either. It's fun to throw in the woods. It's fun to just bomb out on just regular far holes that I throw it up to about 350. Don't always get it there, but it's fun to throw. That's the Volt, number 4. All right, number 3 is the Crave. It's a fairway. It's a 6.5, 5, -1, 1. Now this one, the numbers aren't really off. It's a true -1, 1. I felt like with the Crave, it is kind of very similar in all plastics. So it's not much different, but it just flies. It goes. It's one of those that's a sneaky fairway driver. It's a 6.5, but it flies almost like a 9 or a 10. Like it just goes far. Crave is one of those that I just gravitated to right away. It's probably my favorite fairway. I throw it in the woods. If you want to learn a forehand, like to throw a really good, nice forehand with forehand form, throw Crave. It's just dead straight. When you get some power to it on a backhand, it can get kind of flippy for you. It's kind of flippy for me now, but I would still really like to throw it on some hyzer flips. I like to throw it on some turnover shots. It's just a great around disc. Number 3 is the Crave. Number 2 is the Axiom Hex. Its numbers are 5, 5, -1, 1 as well. This one is in the Eclipse plastic, and I feel like it's a tick more stable. This one almost flies kind of like a reactor in a sense. It's not a reactor because it's still got the glide of the Crave, and it just wants to go, or the glide of a Hex. And it just seems like it just wants to go. We've had some really awesome shots with this disc specifically, but the Hex was one that I really didn't think I was going to like at first. I thought it was just going to be like a faster proxy, which is a putter, and it's really not. It's not. It's in a league of its own. It's completely different. You can throw some really cool lines with it. This one you can throw some cool flex lines with it, some full flights. This one I really like to throw in forehand sometimes. It's one of those that it can handle the torque, the Eclipse plastic specifically, and it just flies really straight with a take a fade at the end on the forehand. But the Hex is one of those that's sneaky as well. It's kind of like the Crave in the sense it just goes really far. It's great to throw. Number 2, the Hex. Number 1 is the Envy. I don't know what else to say about the Envy other than it's just freaking awesome. It goes super far. It's a putter that flies like a mid. Its numbers are 3, 3, 0, 2. If you get one in base plastic electron, it's going to be a 3, 3, -1, 2, and it shows. But the Envy is one of those that I have in so many different plastics, and I rotate them in and out all the time. It's just one of those I like to throw all the different stuff, I like to throw different lines. I had one that I recently lost that was so warped that it was perfect. And I'm sad that I lost it, but now I get to be with another one, and it's going to be just as fun. The Envy is just great. It goes forever. You can throw it on so many different lines. It's a really great putting putter as well. I putted with it before. Before I went to the Nomads, I was putting with the Envy as well. I kind of bounce between them sometimes. I like to use the Envy for putting in headwinds because it's a little bit stronger. And I'm not too great with my hyzer putts for keeping the nose down, so I like to just kind of disc up in stability. But it's great on forehands, it's great on backhands. It's just a great disc. This one is an Electron Soft or Neutron Soft. Something about it's really gummy. In the winter, it's a little bit more grippier. But great disc. Number 1 is the Envy. All right, that's my top 5. 1 is the Envy. 2 is the Hex. 3 is the Crave. 4 is the Volt. Number 5 is the Nomad. Let me know what your top 5 discs are, whether they're MVP, Axiom, or Streamline, or whether they're any other brand. Let me know. I want to know what your top 5 discs are, and put them down in the comments. Also, subscribe to see more. Next week, I have a surprise to show you guys. MVP sent me a box, and I'm excited to share that with you. So let's catch you in the next one.